Hi everyone, so my name is Darcy. I'm a park ranger at Glacier National Park. Welcome to the Forestry Expo to the Wildlife Station. So today I'm going to be talking about some animals that you can find in Northwest Montana, as well as you'll get a chance to see some owls in a little bit. But today I'm going to be talking about a few of the animals that are found here in Northwest Montana, like our lynx, beaver, and snowshoe hare. So the first animal I wanted to talk about is going to be our beaver. Now, beavers are known as nature's engineers. So beavers are typically found in and near bodies of water, such as ponds and streams. And they have unique adaptations that help them survive both on land and in the water. Now, our beaver's pelt here has a very special, unique pelt or fur. So its fur here is very thick and actually has two layers. It has these long guard hairs that act as a raincoat to guard that beaver from the elements like rain, water, and snow. Also has this woolly underlayer, soft woolly underlayer, to help it keep it warm too. So this beaver pelt has these long hairs, and they also produce this oil that they comb through their pelt in order to keep it waterproof as they're swimming and protect them and keep them warm in the water and out of the water. Our beavers also have another unique adaptation, and that is their tails. And their tails help them in many different ways. So a beaver's tail is long and flat and scaly. Now this tail helps them swim through the water and steer them through the water, as well as act as a warning. So they slap the water with their tail as a warning for other beavers in the area. And also they use their tails in order to prop themselves up as they're cutting down trees. Now another special adaptation that a beaver has is its teeth. And its teeth play an important role in telling us more about our beaver. So our beaver's teeth here, they have four long incisors, these four front teeth. And these incisors are used to chew into trees. Now these incisors, this hard enamel that's orange on the outside is very hard, whereas on the inside, we have white, softer enamel. And so as the beaver is chewing into trees, it sharpens its teeth. And these teeth are continuously growing. So these teeth are used to help chew into trees. Now, we also know what a beaver likes to eat by looking at its other teeth. So if you look closely at the molars of the beaver, they have these flat ridges to them. And these ridges are meant to help shred up the different plants and parts of the tree that they're eating. So these teeth tell us that this animal, this beaver, is an herbivore. And an herbivore is an animal that eats plants. So our beaver has all these special, unique adaptations to help it survive in the water and in the forest. And they play a key role in helping sustain forest ecosystems. Now, beavers, like I said before, are nature's engineers. So beavers help construct different shelters or lodges that are their homes. As well as beavers also make dams. And these are structures that block water from flowing further downstream and make other wetland ecosystems. So when the beavers fall and make these dams and their lodges, they have a positive effect on our forest ecosystems. After falling trees, the stumps grow new shoots, which are unappetizing to the beavers. However, they're ideal food for moose and other animals. Now, when beavers cut down trees, they also bring more light to the forest floor, which allows trees and other plants that require more sunlight to be able to grow, such as huckleberries. Now, this encourages diversity of more plants and animal life in our forests. Also, when beavers make a dam, they slow the flow of water and also make a pond or area of wetland. Now, these areas are roughly 85% of all native North American wildlife rely on these type of wetlands. So beavers play an extremely important role in both forest and wetland habitats. So another animal that is found in Montana's forests, but can be very elusive and rarely seen, is our Canada lynx. So the lynx is a solitary cat that hunts remote northern forests of Montana at about 30 to 35 inches long and roughly about 15 to 30 pounds. and with this grizzled gray fur. This lynx can also look very similar to a bobcat. However, the lynx's exceptionally large paws, long black ear tufts, so the ear tufts and the short black tipped tail all distinguish it from the more common bobcat. Lynx are covered with a beautiful thick fur that keeps them warm in the wintertime. Their large paws are also very furry and hit the ground so that their paws spread out and act like snowshoes, so they can easily travel across the deep snow that Montana gets. So these stealthy cats are crepuscular, which means they hunt at dawn, dusk, and at night, so they're rarely seen by humans. But all lynx are skilled hunters. They make great use of great hearing and eyesight. So these black tufts on their ears that stick up act as hearing aids for our lynx to help them hear better. Also, their eyesight is so good or so strong that they can spot a mouse up to 250 feet away. Now, the sharp teeth of a Canada lynx are going to be very different than the teeth of our beaver that we saw earlier. So the teeth of our Canada lynx are much sharper, and so that means they use their sharp teeth to tear into the meat of other animals. So by looking at their teeth and the other adaptations, we know that our lynx is a predator or a carnivore. So it's an animal that eats meat. So our lynx will typically eat different things from mice, squirrels, and birds. But the main source of their diet is from snowshoe hares, which is their favorite. About 60 to 90% of a lynx diet is from snowshoe hares. Now, snowshoe hares are another animal that is found in our forest here in Montana. Now, they have a unique adaptation to help them as prey species or animals that are hunted by other animals. Now, they have a unique adaptation to help them camouflage or blend into their surroundings. So, depending on the time of year, their color or their coat of their color is changing, or the color of their coat is changing. So here, if it's in the winter time, their coat is bright white, and this is to help them blend into the snow. In the spring and summer, their coat turns back into a brownish color to blend into dirt and the sticks and other surrounding areas, kind of a more earthy color. So this adaptation helps them blend and survive out in the forest here in Montana. Now, another part of our snowshoe hare is looking at its teeth again. So looking at the teeth of our snowshoe hare, its teeth are very similar to our beaver. So we can believe that our snowshoe hares will typically eat different grasses, plants, and wildflowers because they have flat teeth just like our beaver. So our snowshoe hares are herbivores, or animals that eat plants. Now, the snowshoe hare, the name comes from its large back feet that help them traverse and walk through the snow. So their large back feet are bigger than a normal rabbit's feet, and that's where we get the name snowshoe hare. Now, snowshoe hares can be seen foraging in the brush, in forests, and they are able to use their form of camouflage in order to seek shelter in the forest and protect themselves from predators, just like our Canada lynx. Now we're going to switch over to Ranger Kyle, and she is going to share with you about some awesome birds that are found in our Northwest Montana forests.
Hi everyone, I am Ranger Kyle. I'm a park ranger from Glacier National Park, and I'm super excited to be able to share some of my favorite animals with you today. Some people may say that these animals are a hoot. We get to talk about Montana's owls today. Montana has 15 different species of owls, and they range in size. Everything from the screech owl, which is about the size of your hand, to the great horned owl, which is about the size of your arm. Owls fill a pretty special niche in their environment. A niche is like something's role in its community. You also fill a niche. Think about the chores that you do at home that nobody else does, or maybe the role you play on your sports team. An owl's niche is that it's a nocturnal predator, or something that hunts at night. This makes them set off from other predatory birds because they're not competing for food. Those other birds of prey are hunting during the day. Owls have a lot of really great adaptations that help them be super efficient night hunters. One of the first things you might notice is their eyes. Owls have really great eyesight. The size of an owl's eyes are really big compared to the size of their skull. If we had eyes the size of an owl, it would be like if our eyes were softball size. The other thing to note is that owls don't have eyeballs, instead they have eye tubes. They're really large and heavy, so they're kind of locked in place in their skull and they can't move their eyes around like we can roll our eyes. Because of this, owls have to rely on a really flexible neck to take in their surroundings. And we often see in cartoons where owls can turn their heads 360 degrees around. It's not that much. They can only go about 270 degrees, which is still a pretty good distance. Eyes are filled with rods and cones. So cones are the pieces that pick up color, and rods are the ones that pick up light and movement. Owls' eyes are filled with more rods than cones, making their eyes super sensitive to light and movement. So even when it's really dark out, they can still pick up the shapes and outlines of plants and animals all around them. Owls' eyes can be different colors. Barred owls have really dark brown eyes that almost look black, where the saw-whet owl has more like a yellow eye. So even though owls have really great eyesight, they actually rely pretty heavily on their sense of hearing to find their food. Owls' ears are located on the sides of their head, not where those giant tufts are. A lot of the owls that have the tufts, like our long-eared owl, that's mostly just to break up shape, look bigger, or maybe even attract a mate. Those tufts are not where the ears are. So with the ears being on the sides of their head, they can really well pick up where something is making a sound from. And their sense of hearing is so acute that they can hear the smallest movement down on the ground or even under several feet of snow. One last really cool adaptation for owls is the fact that they can fly almost silently. On their feathers, on the front of their wings, they have these comb-like structures called fluting that breaks up air as it's passing over their wing and muffles any sound. This adaptation is really helpful when you have to catch your prey. More often than not, the owls can snatch up what they're going to eat without that animal even knowing. One thing I want to point out is that all of the owls that we've gotten to see today are ambassador species from Montana wild wings. These are owls that were brought in with an injury, and that injury keeps them from being re-released into the wild. They're certainly not pets. These animals get to be an ambassador for their species, giving us an up-close look at them in a way we might not normally get to see. Thank you all so much for joining myself and Ranger Darcy at the wildlife station of the Family Forestry Expo. I hope you all enjoyed learning about the different animals and mammals that we find living in our forests, as well as our owls. Next time you're out taking a walk in the forest, maybe think about what the animal's niche is or what your niche is while you're out visiting those areas.